And just like that, we are back again with another episode of Who's Fighting. Kam Gee, this time,
Hey,
but he's with us in spirit. How you been, my brother?
oh man, I'm all good, man. I got my got a little
Is
cup
that
of
like,
Joe. You know what
is
I'm
that like
saying?
what you having at this time in the evening?
Oh, it's black coffee, brother.
Like, oh, that's what I was saying. Coffee this
Black
time
coffee,
is
brother.
you have to be on like third shift or something like that.
Yeah, man. We thugging it out, burning the midnight oil, basically.
I hear you. I hear you. Those people that have joined us on the live, like, subscribe, leave a comment, help the engagement so we can push the
Yes.
algorithms our way. So we can pop up and show what we're talking about in this world of combat sports. It's another midweek episode of Who's Fighting, episode 62. Kam Gee, we've
Yeah.
kind of pushed this thing quite a bit, from episode 19 all the way to Big 6-2. How has the journey been so far? Before we jump into what we're gonna jump into,
Oh man, it's a labor of love.
yes, yes.
It definitely is. But it gives me that time to like really diagnose and talk with my guys, man. So miss the LT today, but hey, we'll
No,
get back
yeah,
with it soon. But now that for me, it's just being a space to talk boxing, man. And
yes, indeed.
I don't really my day to day, I don't get that. I'm in the gym a lot. I mean, I'm talking to guys, but when we're in the gym, we're working, and then
Yes,
we end up talking boxing and talking about a lot of other stuff too, life and whatnot. But being able to have this right here and just and talk the fight game, and I love it. I love it.
and like with the internet, it's amazing how a lot of platforms like ours are developing where now fans have a voice, and again, you can't have that veil over our eyes because now we could share our thoughts of what's happening within the whole ecosystem in the boxing world, in the UFC world, and
Hmm.
I mean not only UFC but mixed martial arts. Like, we could voice our opinions, and we could also tell the makers what fights we want to see or what fights we didn't want to see, and I think
Yeah,
it makes a healthier ecosystem with viewership and the people that are organizing these events. When we have more channels or more platforms where fans have a chance to voice out what they want. Also, it's a space for us to, like, people like you who are in the industry, not only just a fan, you're in the industry of boxing, for you to share your thoughts out there, hopefully get clients, and hopefully also not only clients, let's not even look at it, but develop talent and add to the supply chain that is happening right now in the boxing world when it comes to developing fighters. But yeah, it's amazing seeing episode 62 of a fans channel, and this is all pro bono, none of us are getting paid for this. We just get up and do this for the love,
man. You got a family. I got a family.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, it's a labor of love, man. And
yeah, for the love of it. But yeah, and we are a team of three. Shout out to LT, and we can't wait to have him back because he brings an amazing reach dynamic to this whole forum that we have here. But for the moment, we'll hold it down. Hopefully, we could do a decent two-man roll on this one. But without further ado, let's do a little bit, like, again, this is a midweek episode, so it's not like our normal Sunday episodes where we focus on the recap a lot. This time we'll just do a little bit of touch and go with the recap side of things, and then move into the actual food, the actual meal of this weekend, which is, it's very rich. There's so many. There's what would you say? We have it's a three-course, I think. You just said
you got a Friday, you got a Saturday, so
Saturday. Yeah,
we gotta lock in
there's a lot.
Friday evening. You gotta wrap up the happy hours or the
Yeah.
whatever you got going on that afternoon, to make sure you at your Netflix, wherever
Right.
you can get it, for that Friday night.
Appetizer, the meal, the dessert. It's all, this week is one of those in a fighting world where you just have to mark your calendar. But first and foremost, let's talk about this weekend. We are going all the way to the UK, where we had the Zone Matchroom card, where we had Jack Catterall, who we've talked about a lot on this show, versus brother and son to royalty. We are talking about Harlem Eubank. So those that may not know, Harlem Eubank is Chris Eubank Jr.'s younger brother, and Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank's youngest son, because he had Sebastian. There's Chris, Sebastian, God bless the dead, and then Harlem, I believe. I could be wrong, but I know he has also sisters in between there within Chris Eubank. But anyway, Harlem Eubank, part of that lineage. Also a notable fighter with 31 victories of his own. I mean, he's kind of outshined by his brother, but by his brother's been on the spotlight for quite some time. But Harlem Eubank, in his own right, has a name. Took on our Jack Catterall, and I know you were a fan of. I think is it you or LT was a fan of Jack Catterall?
That's LT. LT's yeah.
So yeah. He did it. He did his thing. And of course, it was ended in the 7th round. But there was a little bit of technicality there with head clashing and so on and so forth. But did you get a chance to at least see a highlight of this and see how this went?
Man, this was one of those rare weekends where I did not consume any boxing, so I missed some. Just saw clips on Twitter.
Right.
Or X, formerly known as Twitter. Saw I got Connor being in the dressing room for the hand wrapping. Well, yeah, you hate to see fights end like this, though.
Right.
That's kind of where I was at when I saw the decision. Like,
right.
Man, those are life changing, career changing moments when those guys have those head clashes that actually end the fight, and then in the rare case they both were cut from the headbutt.
Yep. And so he won by a technical unanimous. Hopefully everyone is okay. Sometimes when you think of when head collisions happen, sometimes we worry about the person bleeding, but there's also the trauma that happens to the other person who's probably not bleeding, but his brain is colliding with his skull. So there's an element of that. So we pray that both fighters are well and sound. And we move on from that. I mean, you said it best. We don't like seeing fights end like this, but with respect to what we have lined up today, we'll move on to the next topic. Like I said, this is going to be a lot of touch and go when it comes to recapping. Again, on the same night, we had, and bear with me here as I try to say this gentleman's name. We have Pavel Thinyanjin versus Pablo Esquizo. I might say Esquizo.
Esquil Corzo. That's how I was like. Pablo Esquil Corzo.
Esquil Corzo. Geez, work with me there. I didn't get to watch this one, but I caught highlights of it. Pavel won by unanimous decision. These were 10 rounders, and Pavel improved his record. He's still undefeated, 18 wins with this decision. He moves on as he's climbing that ladder in the light heavyweight division. Do you want to add to this, or is this touch and go?
That location is what I'm. Hey, Yekaterinburg.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can't even. It's in Russia. It's
okay.
Actually, this was okay. Not on the same card. I lied. This was not on the zone. This was Russian Federation Boxing. So that's where Pavel is from. So let's move on back to the zone match room. We had Joe Cordina versus Jared Cuerzon. I can't say that.
Cuerzon.
It's Cuerzon. This is a super featherweight. And we had Joe Cordina winning by unanimous decision. Joe Cordina came in or left with a record of 18 wins, 1 loss, while his opponent, Gerard, had 20 wins, 2 losses. And this was also a 10-rounder. I've noticed a lot of these fights abroad, even the main one, the Kettle fight, was supposed to be a 10-round. Is it normal for even the main cards to be 10-rounders, or?
I don't know how they differentiate when they're going to do a 12-round non-title fight, but typically your title fights are going to be your 12-round fights, and then your non-title bouts will be 10-round fights. Because recently we have some 12-round fights that were a non-belt, or were those one of those interim titles? That was that might have been what it was, because typically you're going to have a non-title battle be a 10-rounder. And then your fights for a belt will be that 12-round.
All right. So we are sticking to the UK Matchroom DAZN, and we're going to talk about some of the undercards. We have women's boxing. We have featherweight bout here. We have Skylar Nicholson versus Carla Gonzalez. Skylar claimed the win with a second-round TKO, dominating Carla Gonzalez. Didn't get to watch this, but this was reported, so we felt that we had to put it out on our review or our recap section. And then lastly, we have a welterweight last year. We have Abik Faz versus Alex Murphy, and this was also the same Matchroom DAZN. We had Abik, if I'm saying that right, Aqib Fiaz outpointed Alex Murphy, winning that 10-rounder by unanimous decision. Aqib has a record right now standing 15 victories, 1 loss, while Alex Murphy, the person that was not the victor, has a record now of 18 wins and 5 losses. Quickly, as we are doing a quick, never mind, we don't have any UFC to cover, so let's dive into the meat. And this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. That's why we had to get the good old recap done with, so we could go into some long form chit chat. Wait, let's get some right set up here, where we could talk about what is about to happen on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Some may say this is historical. Some might say this is monumental. Some might say this is breaking the status quo. Others may say this is long overdue. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an all-women's card that is going to be pay-per-viewed, blockbuster on Netflix.
Hey.
How do you feel about this? Is it all the things that I said, monumental, historical, overdue?
I'm excited. The Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fights have all been very entertaining. I'm an Amanda Serrano fan. I do believe the last fight, both fights are close. The head clashes are very frustrating, like we've mentioned before. Third fight, I really feel like Serrano can come out victorious. But Katie Taylor, she's tough, very tough. Seeing Baumgartner come back into the ring, and she's been out here training in Dallas with Derek James, so intrigued to see Derek James, see if he can get back in that win column. He's taking some very high-profile defeats here recently, so he's kind of hitting that boxing Twitter, that wrath of boxing Twitter. And then we got another Dallas connection with Chicken, Sharetta Metcalf, going for that undisputed bantamweight belt early on this card. So she's also signed with Most Valuable Promotion. So I'm super excited to check this out. So I know Friday evening, get out the gym, heading right to Netflix. So make sure we can catch these fights.
Yes. So again, like, I look at this card and I'm like, I wish we could all get along in the women's boxing scene and we could have Carissa on this one. I wish she was on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Let all women win with this one. Let all the ladies win with this one. Who runs the world? Girls. That's I'm looking at these legends on this card. Like there's some legends.
We skipped over Savannah Marshall versus Shadeja Green.
Yes.
Like that's a big one.
Legendary, you know, like and I know on the running banner we don't have Metcalf and Jones on there, but they are going to be on there. Yeah. So let's talk about legendary.
For belts.
Let's talk about the third time these fighters collide. At 165 or 169? What?
No, this should be, I believe, one. Let's make sure I'm not mistaken. I believe this would be at 130.
Oh, with Katie Taylor
and Amanda Serrano.
Oh, yeah. I may have got that wrong, but yeah.
Let's make sure. Let me do a double check because I'm like there. I know Baumgartner is at 26, so this is for the featherweight title.
140, I guess. Sorry, I said.
Excuse me, you guys. Yeah, you got a 140 limit.
140.
That was at a lightweight, super lightweight bout. The last time they fought back in 2024.
So this is the third time they lock horns. So let's break this and slow walk this. I don't want to say the D word, but let's slow walk this. How many times have you liked a trilogy? Sometimes even the Canelo. Did Canelo and Triple G do a trilogy, right?
Yeah, they did a trilogy.
And that was the worst one. The third one was the worst one. The first two were classic, right?
Right. Triple G aged himself out, right? And you could potentially see this happen here. I mean, Serrano's a little older, a little damaged from these fights.
And then another trilogy of recent times. How many times did Pacquiao and Marquez fight?
I think that was 4 times.
Oh, they went to war.
They went 4 times, and then you got I just drew a blank. We had another. Oh well, you were going to miss Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder, yes. The third one was the worst.
Yeah.
The third one was bad.
I mean, it has that potential. It's a lot of hype. It's on a big stage. Serrano's older. She's fighting a bigger fighter. She actually fights her normal weight class is down in that 126 range. So for her to,
she's a Baumgartner weight. So like with that being said, these are 10 rounders. So they're about to do 30 rounds of fighting. 30 rounds of fighting. How intimate are they? How much do they know each other? Like that's a lot of fighting the same person. It's like Peter Griffin's fighting that chicken. Like it gets to a point where it's on site. Like it's crazy. Like you get tired. Like when do you break as an opponent? When does it get to a point where your body's like, I can't? How many wars do you have? You know, I've seen people that even struggle doing a sequel or a 2 fight because they went to war so hard on the first one. That's why I'm worried for this Eubank versus Corner Ben, because right now, yes, Eubank won, but Corner Ben left untouched, looked cleaner, looked like the guy who had more wind to go and fight. So I'm kind of worried, like, dog, is it worth it? Now I'm looking at this. I love it. It's going to be an entertaining fight. I know Amanda Serrano only has one way of fighting, is step forward. She steps on the gas. She accelerates. I don't see her fighting any different style. I know Katie Taylor is a combination queen, and she does follow through with a little bit of Dennis Rodman elbows. No, not Dennis Rodman elbows, but she does have some trickery and some dark arts.
I just want to see a fight that does not involve a head clash.
I
want to just see the skill, man. These are terrific fighters, man, and I feel like it's part of the sport. So
okay, do you think
you gotta deal with it? But come on, man.
Do you think it's dark arts or is it an accident on Katie Taylor's side?
It's a little bit of both, man. Because she left. I felt very obviously in the last fight was leading with her head, and I felt like the referee did not do a great, good enough job to navigate that. Like, hey, this is enough. Like, we've already had clash. Let's clean it up a little bit. Let's box. You know.
And also, do you think the dancing partner kind of makes it inevitable for them to clash a little bit? Because Savannah, sorry, I'm saying Savannah. Amanda Serrano is all gas and she's, going at. It's not like she's.
Yeah.
I've never seen her fight back foot, or maybe she's just been so dominating that I've not seen her fight back foot.
But Katie Taylor has had multiple fights that have involved head clashes.
Okay.
So there's a track record there. On these bigger stages that some of her opponents have left with cuts, bad cuts from a head clash.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see the third fight. I hope it's not like normal third fights where bodies are, one of the fighters are just beat up and it's just one of those where it's domination from one side because somebody just figured out the puzzle. Because you fight somebody like 10 times alone, somebody's going to figure somebody out. It's not going to be no draw. It's going to be like, like you cannot surprise me after 30 rounds. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me, Kam Gee, you're in the fight business. Can you beat you fight 30, you fight close to you fight 20 rounds with somebody. You're scheduled to fight 30. How many surprises do you see?
Zero. Zero at this point. The biggest thing I think for Serrano would be, is she going to alter her strategy because she has been had a clash of heads in these her previous fight. I can kind of draw back to Tim Tszyu in the fight after the Fundora head clash. He that was a head clash in that fight, and he's pawing at his forehead to that lets you know that it's in his mind. So I think early on you want to see that isn't on her mind as she fights in these close quarters.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. Like like when I look at that Tim Tszyu fight, I could see it wasn't necessarily an intentional act from Fundora. You could see Fundora's style forces things like that because he's just lanky and weird, and he does not use range. He's all he steps into his fights, and it kind of leads to those type of issues. Moving on to, we've covered Taylor Serrano. We want to see the fight. I strongly still believe it's going to be one-sided this time around. I just think one of them, they're just high-level IQ fighters that someone has cracked that code, and someone may actually get beat really bad because they figured 30 rounds are a lot. Trust me, there are a lot of rounds to fight, let alone 20 rounds. So somebody's gonna get figured out. I don't think it's gonna be a draw. I don't think it's gonna be the dance that we saw in the first two fights where they're looking like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other where they couldn't crack the code for each other. Like there's gonna be a separation here. Moving on to the next person on that lineup right there, we have Alicia Baumgardner versus Jennifer Miranda. Baumgardner, one of the most naturally talented fighters in women's boxing. Amazing jab, amazing hand combo. She is strong for 120.
Last fight was at
126.
She weighed in at 129 3/4 for her last fight. Yeah. So that was for the super featherweight belt. So that is on the line for here. So that's a 130 weight limit.
130. People don't know it till you stand close to her. She's not little. She's bigger than Katie Taylor. She's about 5'6" and some change. She's almost 5'7". So she I wouldn't call her what they call it. They call the dudes bully king. What the
weight bullies, yeah.
Maybe she's part of that because if you see her standing even with a Carissa who's like 5'9", 5'7", she's like 5'7", so she's like 2 inches. For some reason, in my mind, when I see her Instagram, I'm like, she's small. And when I see her standing with her opponents, she's not small. She's a 5'6", 5'7", I think. I don't think she's
They
five.
got her. They have her listed 5'6" on her box rec, but
Yeah, so she's not
um,
for that weight. She's taller than most of the people she's fighting.
at that weight division,
She looks stronger. She's had knockdowns. She has good hand combination. She does have pros. She starts off very well. I think sometimes she plays with her food, and I've seen her struggle in late rounds. Don't know too much about Jessica. Miranda. What's her name? Jennifer Miranda. Kam Gee, do you want to enlighten me on her opponent and what she possesses that could be dangerous?
Undefeated fighter coming in with a lot of pride, right? But the thing you do notice early on is one knockout. Coming in from Spain, also coming in at the same height, 5'6". So we have to see how they look, because you know how it's listed, right, versus how it is in reality.
5'6", 129 is a big person.
Big size. All right, this is gonna be the biggest fight of her career. And with Baumgartner coming in, we know she has some of that stopping power with her 7 knockouts. It'd be one of those type of things where it'll be hard to see if Jennifer Miranda could stop Baumgartner, but the game plan for her would be to outpoint her for a 10-round decision.
And that's what I see. I see that would be the smartest thing for Miranda to do, Jennifer Miranda to do, is to push Baumgartner to those championship rounds, 10 rounds, because she does. I don't know if it's a cardio thing. I know she starts off hard. She has a little bit of that anger. Like, I don't know if it's not controlled.
She got edge. She got that competitive edge. She has that grit.
She's a Michigan girl. She comes in hot. About seeing her tank out in like 6-7 rounds. And she gets a little reserved and not as active as she was in the earlier rounds. She does win her fights early too, but that
fight ended with a accidental head clash. Last fight ended in a no contact back against Delphine Persoon back in September of last year.
24, yeah.
Right, so we're 10 months from the previous fight. All right, then she fought once in 2024 and twice in 2023. So not that active as of late. So coming in at she's 31 years old. Miranda's coming in at 38 years old at the biggest stage of her career. I would imagine that Baumgartner would really be trying to come out to stop Miranda and do it emphatically to let everybody know like that. Hey, she's here. You got to come through her in this boxing world. So, and she's been training in Dallas. Derrick James' first fight with her. So it'll be interesting to see how that mix plays out in a fight and working.
She's not being trained by Bill Haney anymore.
Wait, Bill Haney was?
No, she had a session with Bill Haney, and AB went crazy, kind of like talking, Adrian Broner being Adrian Broner. It was a Twitter thing between Adrian Broner and Bill Haney, and they were going at it.
Well, she seems focused. Been watching her throughout her camp and seems focused. And she mentioned via her story on Instagram that she's, around her walk around weight. Her fight weight. So cutting wouldn't be an issue. So, expecting her to be strong and fast, and hopefully she does not fade late in those fights. But I'm really intrigued to see how the Derrick James Baumgartner partnership plays out.
I'll go into I don't know too much about this fighter, but I'll just throw it there. We have Ellie Scottney versus Yamileth Mercado. Sorry. You know who that is? Any of those two fighters?
No, I'm not familiar with their game.
All right, let's move over to Sharetta Metcalf versus Shanika Johnson. So I may be messing up that name, but hey, we know who Sharetta Metcalf is, and then I don't know too much about Shanika Johnson. Are you familiar with her game and who she is?
Not really, but she's actually coming in as the higher rated fighter at this division.
Mm.
So Shanika Johnson, number 3, Shredder Metcalf is ranked at number 10, which I don't know how that works, but this is via BoxRec.
Are they junior welterweight? What's this?
This is a bantamweight. So so I think this is 118, if I'm not mistaken. Last fight, Shredder Metcalf. She came in right under that 118 weight limit. So that's that bantamweight title. The WBC and the WBO belts and the IBF belt all up for grabs.
Oh.
IBF being currently held by Serrano Metcalf. The WBC belt and the WBO belt are both vacant. So this is for a unification fight here early in the card. So you get some championship bouts early on this.
Nice. Skipping on to the next group of fighters, Savannah Marshall versus Shadeja Green. I like Shadeja Green. Patterson, New Jersey. She's been around. She's been around for a while. She's been active. She's 35. Wow, I didn't even know she's that old.
The women's game, the fighters older. Like we said, Miranda's older at 38. Serrano, I think, is around that age as well.
Yeah.
We saw Holly Holm 2 weekends ago, coming in at 40, 40 plus.
Yep.
So,
well, I think Shadeja she's a great fighter. Only one loss. Man, oh man, Savannah Marshall is a tough opponent.
Mm-hmm.
A legend in the amateurs. She's the only person to have defeated Carissa Shields, I believe, in the amateurs. And they fought, and she gave Carissa Shields her hardest professional fight over there in the UK. Big. She's big. She's about 6. No, she may be 5'10". I don't know. How tall is
she? They got her listed at 5'11" and a half.
Yeah, she's almost 6 foot tall. She's a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadeja is 5'8". I'm very familiar with her fighter from New Jersey. I wanna root for Shadeja on this one, but my boxing Rolodex and things that I've seen and things that I've been exposed to watching fights and knowing what to choose. If I was a gambling man, I would say Savannah Marshall is going to win this one. Sadly to say so, but what say you?
That don't mean you can't cheer on though.
I will cheer on. I like Shadeja. I like that she's one of those people that have been around since 2019. I remember seeing her fight. I think she used to have locks. I don't know if she still has locks back in the day. She was one of those fighters they talked about, and I thought one time, her and Carissa gonna lock horns for the super middleweight or super middleweight title somewhere when Carissa was still fighting on the lower cards. I've also seen her fight on one of Jake Paul's other undercards. So I've seen her. She's been in a lot of fixtures that I've liked. I like her style of fighting. Very, 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 very smart fighter. She's orthodox. She's just right. She's a righty. Savannah Marshall, on the other hand, is a staple, an icon over there in the UK. She sold the O2. She's
I mean, a lot of experience, a lot of tough fights, and you got a size advantage. You got a 3.5 inch height differential going on there. So that's a lot to overcome. Shadeja Green, she was on the Jake Paul undercard that with the Mike Tyson Jake Paul monstrosity. So along with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. So I forgot they took that big fight on such a sideshow.
I mean, she's fighting somebody that like her knockout rate is ridiculous. If you have time, search Savannah Marshall's knockout rate for a woman. It's scary. It's scary. At one time, she ran from 2018 to about 2021, knocking out everybody till 2022. Like she went through like 3 years just knocking out every opponent. she's a tough fighter to go past. But skills pay the bills. So sometimes you may think somebody's tough, but somebody may be more skilled and kind of, maybe the right dancing partner that can expose saying weaknesses that we may not know. There's a reason why they set up this fight. I don't know what weight are they fighting at.
So last fight for Shadeda Green was at one. That's a super middleweight division. So that's at 168 limit. So you're coming in at 167.
So right now, Savannah,
big fight, big girls.
So Savannah currently holds 5 of them. She holds the WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, and the Ring Magazine. All of them. She's that chick. Yeah. Hey. Sometimes, you got to be David and Goliath in this case. So, yeah. Going on to the next person that I'm familiar with, Chantel Cameron versus Jessica Kamara. What say you?
I'm not too familiar with the game of Chantel Cameron and Jessica Kamara. You gotta enlighten me here.
I've seen Jessica Kamara fight. I'm not seeing Chantel Cameron fight. In this case, I'll toss it to whoever's watching this on playback. Leave a comment or two. I mean, this is all gonna be retrospective. I mean, we're gonna watch the fight. We're gonna see what she's about. But I also would like to be a little bit pleasantly surprised. Sometimes I don't want to know too much because I walk in with my own perception, my own thoughts on how a fight is going to apply. And sometimes it's okay to have no knowledge about a fight and just get one over as a new fan. So I'll leave my palate open to that. And as I state that, Friday is full of an action-packed, historical, monumental. It was needed. An all-female card, and it's prime. It's on Netflix. So you already know. I don't know if Netflix has a thing of not sharing numbers, because I heard that when you share your stand-up or whatever special with them, they don't tell you the numbers. I would like to know what the numbers are. Did they ever share the Jake Paul numbers with Tyson? I don't remember.
I feel like they did. If we give me a second, we might be able to pull it out. Like
sometimes some of these streaming sites don't want to share their number with you. They'll pay you straight up and not share your numbers because they don't want you to negotiate. I don't know. So they want to hold that negotiating, because if you are, they'll pay you like they paid whoever $50 million for a stand-up or some ridiculous amount. And they won't give you a number. But hey, I hope those numbers are out there, because those numbers will be telling. One, it will show us how far we have come as boxing fans, how inclusive we are.
So just to give you a little context with the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, Netflix reported 108 global million viewers. The event peaked at 65 concurrent streams, right? So that, to me, that means that people that were on that stream consistently watching that, with people peeping in at the clip of 108 million people. So
wow,
the largest, made it the most streamed sports event ever on the platform on Netflix.
I take it back. I kind of misspoke earlier when I said pay-per-view. I think it's going to be on Netflix streaming for those that have Netflix and are subscribers of the Netflix platform. I don't think he's doing the DAZN. Well, you subscribe to DAZN, but you still got to pay for it. Still gotta pay for the fight. So I'm not sure. Last time with the Tyson fight, it was for everyone that had Netflix. So it was a live event. So
let's keep it like that.
Yeah. So, and moving on. Oh wait, before I was saying something here. Those Netflix numbers are needed to be shown to the public. One, to show us how much we've grown as fans of sports in an inclusive way, in an equitable way, where we have to think about sports not only from a masculine man, centric way, but to understand that we live in a world that we have multiple representations of who we are as people. And those numbers will show sponsors, platforms that women can sell stuff. They don't need. I mean, yes, there's the cosign of a man, a white guy, Jake Paul said, but sometimes you don't need that cosign to make these type of things happen, and those numbers will be groundbreaking if they show up, and it'll give a lot of negotiating wiggle room for Carissa Shields. However much you may not like this, if women are going to win, because at the end of the day, it's going to show that you sell and you sell big, and it's also going to show that we have grown as a society to understand that women's sports are here to stay. I mean, I watch WNBA. I don't look at it as just I'm watching I'm watching basketball, and I like it. These are real athletes that are out here getting it. So I salute Netflix. I salute MVP. I know it's a little bit too early, but I already know with that lineup, fireworks is about to happen. Do you want to conclude on this one?
Oh man, you said it all right there, bro. Fireworks. I expect it. Hey, shout out to all the above: Netflix, MVP, and all the ladies on this historic card.
Yes, and like we said earlier, this is Friday, July 11th. I don't know what time it starts. Let me double check. I know this is a New York card, I believe.
Yes, it's in Madison Square Garden.
Those tend to start a little early. So those that are in the Midwest, those that are in the Pacific Atlantic area, hey, you may find this at work.
Man.
You may find this while you're driving in traffic over there in LA. I don't know. You may be it may be at 4 p.m. over at your spot, and it may be late. It may be late over there in the East Coast. So catch it early. And
undercard starting at 7 p.m. Central. I know me and you both in the Central time zone.
That's great. That's perfect.
Perfect, right? Friday night, boom, 7 o'clock. We got boxing undercard action.
Perfect.
Right. And then your main event ring walk times are expected around 10 p.m. Central time.
Oh. So
you got a 7 p.m. start time, main event, 3 hours in at 10. That's approximate.
I wonder what 10 Central is in the Pacific. Is that like 2 hours?
2 hours behind. So that's
around 8. That's okay.
8 o'clock.
And you know what? That's another thing. People in the East Coast complain when fights are happening in Vegas, like at 10 or whatever. Some like, dog, it's over midnight here. I'm watching. So this is it's a good balance. I like it. We're all happy. Mm-hmm. We're all happy, and we can all go to sleep early, reasonable time, and get up on a Saturday to do what we got to do. So talking about Saturday, that's the perfect segue to another wonderful event put together by Turkey Al Hashik and the good people of Ring Magazine. It is Ring 3.
Let's go.
I mean, we talked earlier about where did the number 3 come from. I remember there was King of the Ring. I don't even remember Ring 2, but I'll leave that for the people doing research in the background. Those that are trying to leave it in the comments so we can all get educated at the same time. I won't dig into my phone to find out that. What we're going to talk about is July 12th in the Louis Armstrong Stadium in New York City, New York. Kam Gee, what do you think about this card? We have Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. We have Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. We have Alberto Puello versus Sabrel Matthias. We have David Morrell versus Imam Katav. I can't if I'm saying that right. We have Rieto Timu versus Eric Henley. If I'm saying that, forgive me, all the Japanese people. Ryoto Tosimi. Ryoto Tosimi versus Eric Henley. Wait, that's it. Did I say it right?
Man, you did your best. I know that.
Ryoto Toshimi. It's a Japanese name. And then Eric Henley. And this, I didn't know, was not only a Ring Magazine. It has multiple people that are putting stuff into this. I see here, and I could be wrong. It says Matchroom, but no, this is a DAZN. I
All right,
see.
okay, yeah. Your telecast,
Yeah, I'm seeing who's putting, because I know it's Ring. I see DAZN.
the
Why do
zone.
you see top ranking on this? Where did top ranking come from? But anyways, that's just me being like kind of like looking around to see who the co promoters are for this event. Let's talk about the main cards first. Edgar Balenga versus Hamza Shiraz. Kam Gee, take it away. Your guy Edgar Balenga.
Oh man, he's a character. We got our people out there. Got Berlanga winning, and I
Miss
have
Ish is
to.
very, very loyal. Miss Ish, I can't even say it right for the algorithms. Miss Ish, you're very loyal, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, tip my cap to
That's
you.
good.
But hey, Hamza Shiraz, he was getting propped up over in Riyadh season, and one of those guys that came over did not perform well in his last fight. Edgar Blanca coming off that Canelo payday.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, man, I do not. I'm having a hard time seeing Hamza coming out victorious here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really having a hard time seeing that.
I can see the play from a mile away. But before I talk about the play, what you touched on, Edgar Balenga, his call to fame, whatever he calls, everything that he says is about, everything he's talking about most of the time is about those 12 rounds that he survived with Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
And he deludedly thinks he did well. He's like, yo, I did 12 rounds with Canelo. That's his call to fame, whatever they call it. And that's really what he's riding on till now. And that's what I think brought him the headliner to this event. I mean, he's a good.
You remember his last fight? He fought like
he knocked the dude out.
Poorly built
Puerto Rican guy.
Professional athlete. And and then we saw Hamza against Adames. Did not look good at all, and that was a draw. But for those that watched the fight, we know that that 110, 118 scorecard, which I'm always talking about, that's ridiculous. So coming off those performances, and Edgar Berlanga, I think he might have this one, man. I didn't see the standoff, but we got some chatter in the chat saying he froze up at when they were face to face. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Like you said, like the play that I wanted to talk about, I can see it from a mile away. I can see why Hamza Shiraz is the person that is being set up for a big payday. Meaning, if you are aligning everything together, Ring 3 is a Turkey al-Hashik's side project.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anything about my brothers and sisters from Saudi Arabia, they are very proud of their nation, and they have very much a culture that is proud of being Arabic. And the biggest payday for Ataki al-Hashid in Riyadh would be having an Arabic champion or an Arabic fighter fighting for a championship belt. And that's the play right here. And that's why most people are like, who is Hamza Shiraz, and why is he catapulting into these ranks and being placed into these fights with people that have fought Canelo, that have fought, it's because, not saying he's not a worthy fighter. He is very worthy, good fighter actually. But there's a play there that is worth exercising or trying if I'm Turkey, as with having it's an aesthetic, it's a look. If I have an Arab fighter fighting for a championship world stage type of competition on my promotion, I am going to sell out not only in Saudi Arabia, I'm going to sell out these TV rights in the Qatar, Egypt, Tunisia, Syria, all these Arab countries, and they have a lot of good solidarity as Arabic people, especially when you have an Arabic child. See how they treat Bardu Jack. Just see how
Yeah.
the Arab fighters treat their fellow Muslim fighters, the Badu Jacks of this world, or Mike Tyson. That's why Mike Tyson is not only just the people's champion here in the United States. Remember, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, these were Muslim champions. And that's why their superstardom was not only regional here in the United States, it was very big in the Middle East because of the names Muhammad Ali, you know, prior to Cassius Clay. Or when you talk about basketball, why was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was what was his name? When he was
Lou Alcindor.
You know, he was not popular, but when he became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the time he was in the movies, you could see his, if you were doing algorithms back in the day, and I'm not algorithms, sorry, analytics back in the day, and you're seeing a lot of who's looking for who, it's a lot of it is in the Middle East. You talk about the people, and I don't want to get political here or general political, but if you talk about in the 60s or when or 60s, 70s, I can't remember. I wasn't born, but reading about Malcolm X, right? Him traveling to these Arabic countries, and at that time, Muammar Gaddafi wanted to give him $5 million to bring back to build orphanages in like Brooklyn or whatever, and the government, the United States government, would not let him bring that money over here. It is something when you're a Muslim fighter. There's a solidarity there, and that's why there's a big play here. And in Turkey's mind, on people that I've seen boxing, they're looking at Edgar Berlanga as a stepping stone. But when you hear Berlanga in the interviews, you heard what he said. He's like, he's here to destroy Turkey's plan. Did you hear that?
Oh no, but we see the play though. We see the play. We know that Adame's decision, that draw was crazy, and the lights seemed to have him shook. You know, in his previous fight against Carlos Adames. I'm kind of expecting that as well in this fight. And just a shout out to the venue one time, the Louis Armstrong Stadium, the tennis venue out there in New York. So Ring Magazine, Turkey on the Sheet, coming in with another unique situation to view a fight. So I can't recall a time watching a major fight in a tennis venue. Yeah. So I think Miss Ish in the chat, I can't say your name because of the algorithms. I'm also just yeah. You're absolutely right. I think respectfully, I think Berlanga is gonna dog walk Shiraz. I think Berlanga has been waiting to thump somebody because he's been hit with a stick about his Canelo fight. And prior to Canelo, Berlanga was a knockout artist. Berlanga was actually kind of a boogie. It was scary, and that's why we were so pissed off with the Canelo fight, because he switched the script on us. He did something that we don't expect him to do. We thought he was gonna go, he's gonna go blow for blow or do what he does, but he didn't do it. He wanted to survive. So I think he's hearing everybody, and he's like, "Payday.
Y'all must decide. You're putting this industry plan, quote unquote. I don't say that, but you're putting this guy in front of me, thinking you're gonna get this big money fight. Let me destroy your plans, and this is an eliminator, and I'll be next in line." Just like that, the guy who was lucky the first time is gonna get lucky again because they're not taking him serious. We did that with Rolly. We were not taking Rolly serious. Rolly's a 2-division champion. These guys could show up, just randomly show up, and knock out your favorite fighters. So I don't know. What do you think? You think Shiraz has a chance in this one?
Nah, I don't. I really don't. And once that fight is off or over, the other fights are much more intriguing.
Yeah. Well, I think we've squeezed everything that we could squeeze from that
Man,
Of Balenga
man.
versus Shiraz. Moving on to another interesting one. This one actually is the one that I have my eyes on. Let's talk about Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Ooh, 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 ooh. By the way, before we talk about this, did you hear what's up? I love Turkey. His Twitter has been on fire. You heard about the shrinking ring?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
shrinking
ridiculous, but you know what? It's got
ring?
everybody talking, and I'm really curious to see how Shakira handles that mental pressure Turkey's putting out there, because he's hearing everyone talk. You know, we know he's had issue with his hands, and there's been this whole thing of Shakur running, and then you saw Devin Haney come out and put on his performance, and you know, boxing fans are growing tired of that. I don't think Shakur is that type of fighter, and I really think he's out to prove a point. Zepeda coming off of those Tevin Farmer 24 round bouts,
Yep.
and then seeing Tevin Farmer's recent performance, it does give some pause. It's like, okay, what are we going to witness here during this fight?
Yeah, and even talk about that. Zepeda, he's an interesting fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like we talked about some fighters that just have only one style. I think Zepeda is one of those. Just only one style. He got actually knocked down by Tevin Farmer because of that.
Mm-hmm. Just got caught.
Yeah, he's all gas, no brakes. This type of fighter is interesting because I think he's gonna be the first one, besides the last fighter that Shakur fought on short notice, that brought the fight to him.
Padley.
So Padley did bring the fight to Shakur, and we were like, "Whoa, who is this guy?" You know.
Yep.
And it kind of makes Shakur step up. But now this one here is a different other animal who will challenge Shakur with, not only will you have to duck and dodge and slip and do all sorts of your matrix things, but you have to punch in between punches. I don't want to see a 1 and a 2. I want to see a 1-2. I want to see some 3s and 4s. I want to see you work, dude. I don't want to hear that your hands are broken or you came in here. No, I don't want to hear I'm doing this on this. No, Shakur. He's not going to let you do that. He's not. Zepeda is not going to let you do that. Yes, I know Zepeda sometimes is Zepeda's own issue. He's his own problem because sometimes he just steps into it. He walks into them. And maybe that's a great setup for you, Shakur, to knock somebody out. But that's why Turkey is so clever. He's like the Riddler. He leaves you. He puts puzzles. Like he will say the Tom and Jerry fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Haney, talking about I'll shrink the ring. He knew these guys kind of diminished his product on the fist of that New York fight, the New York event that he had. Now he's giving them hitmen. He even said hitman, and dude's name is the Assassin, Norman Jr. And now he's shrinking the ring with a Zepeda guy who loves, who loves to bang, who loves to be in close proximity, who loves to be busy, and this is going to challenge or test Shakur's volume punching.
Yeah, he's going to have to throw. We saw against Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer, slick defense, good footwork, and he just was out. The output he was not able to match. So the conditioning will be tested, but we've seen make guys look different. The Padley situation was a bit surprising, but he did stop him ultimately.
Stopped him. And I think it was because dude didn't have a real camp and he was tired. And like there was so many elements to that. But that whole thing that he does, which is a beautiful art. Like Shakur has an amazing pull counter. He Floyd Mayweather type of pull counter, like like putting himself in the line of fire. That was you have to punch in between them punches. You have to exchange in between to get the respect of Zepeda to stay away from you. You're not gonna pull counter somebody. You're not gonna pivot one. You're not gonna one someone and pivot and move. He's not gonna let you do that. And if that shrinking ring is a serious thing, where you gonna go?
I don't think it's serious, but it is making us talk. But it is one of those things where I'm wondering if Shakur stays within himself. I believe he will, but we will find out July 12th. Does he stay within himself? Is he hearing the outside noise? It's like as far as the shrinking ring, right? Turkey's putting it out because he wants to put that pressure and that power of that suggestion from afar to get a more entertaining fight from his point of view. But Shakur Stevenson, one of the most skilled guys, he has that innate ability to move just far enough away to make his opponent reset, and that does not allow him to throw combinations, right? So he kind of forces you to kind of dink and dunk, so to speak, as far as your game when it's trying to get in. So I mean, I'm expecting Shakur to come out victorious here. I don't know if we're doing predictions off of this one, but
we're gonna do predictions at the end. I have LTs.
Yeah, LTs. Okay.
So we'll have it after we're done running through this. We'll definitely do the Netflix one and then this one, definitely. Yeah, and you were saying what you said is absolutely right. Like this show, we've always talked highly about Shakur Stevens. I mean, we've kind of gone in on Devin Haney, but we don't go in on Shakur because we know that the talent that he has is unique. He has something that is special. The only thing that Shakur has done to Shakur, which is not Shakur's fault, but he's so good at what he does that even when you put him in a ring with a killer, he makes the killer not look dangerous, right? Right. You know, we saw a fight. I mean, one of his last fights, maybe a fight or two ago, when he was fighting Artem. Artem is a killer, but Shakur was not touched, and we were all saying it's boring. But what Artem was doing to other fighters, he's so good that he makes other fighters look like, but that's him. That's his unique skill. But what around the boxing gyms is he's the king in the boxing gym. He knocks out people, he beats people up, but when he's in the fight, plans change. He becomes a little bit worried about that. Worried about this, and he's so good and talented. His reflexes are on point that he can do that. But man, Zepeda is the perfect opponent to take that thing out of him. And sometimes you gotta remind these guys, hey, let them punches go, bro. Let them things go. Let them forget we don't care about it. Let the things go. You are that dude. We've seen it. We've seen you since young. You that dude, from New Jersey. You that dude. So I hope it's the Shakur that we think he can be, and he is, because he's a generational type of fighter. He could be that. He could be that of this generation, and I hope he fulfills that prophecy. But we have another one here. We have Alberto Puello versus Sabril Mateus. Are you familiar with Sabril? If I'm saying it right.
Well, Alberto, I think we was on the fight that we covered. Was it Gary Anton Russell last year, or was it Sandor Ryan fight? Both of those were. It was Anton Russell. Came in as underdogs.
Yep,
as an underdog and won that fight. And Sabril Mateus, I was just checking his box record out, coming in ranked higher, but he got his 22 victories are all by knockout.
Yep.
All right. So last victory came against Gabriel Valenzuela. And we also know that he maybe that competition really wasn't a true challenge, but he took that loss to Liam Paro back in 2024. So tough opponent. Also, that guy, he's also this one defeat. Liam Paro I'm speaking about was to a current champ, Richard Hitchens. So just to kind of give you the level of competition that these guys
Puerto
have recently faced. Yeah, I mean, Alberto Puello's done something that we did not expect multiple times, and just had that type of style. One of those guys from the Dominican Republic that just seems always they're creeping up in that boxing world as far as being elite and showing up at the big stage.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm expecting again.
Yeah, I mean, he's a world champion for a reason, and he holds a very significant belt. He's a WBC super lightweight, lightweight champ. You said that we did see him last year back in June beat another champion, Gary Antoine Russell, who's a very, very tough opponent. An amazing amateur career, both him and his older brother, who's also another champion. So, like, if you beat that type of fighter, yes, it was a split decision, and yes, some people thought it was arguable. It could have gone both, either way. Still, you got the victory. And looking at him fighting Sabril, who I'm not too much familiar with. I know he's from Puerto Rico. He has 2 losses, and you did mention his only victory, his only loss was to a guy called Poro or something like that.
Well, I was saying that one of his defeats was to a very tough opponent here more recently. Yeah, back in 2024, Liam Parle. Liam Parle's only defeat was to Richard Hitchens as of right now.
Yeah.
So we all know Richard Hitchens has that belt.
Yeah.
In that weight class. So yeah, man. I think this is gonna be a great fight. I think this card is looking really stacked. This will be another great fight. I don't know. I think I got Puello coming out on top on this one. Just seasoned, ready for the moment, knows how to gut out those close fights.
Yeah, like sometimes it's who you fought, the type of caliber of fighter you fought. And like some of these guys, like from Dominican Republic, even Puerto Rico, these guys have an extensive amateur career where these moments don't phase them. So respect to that. So let's talk about someone that I'm a fan of him. We're gonna talk about David Morrell. I mean, last time we talked, he was fighting our David Benavidez. It was a good fight.
Yeah,
great fight.
Entertaining.
And I would want to see them fight again, to say the least. But he fights a Russian Imam Katev. Very, very, very dangerous opponent. Very dangerous opponent. Not much is written about him, but from reading and doing my scouting, he's an Olympian boxer. He fights. He used to fight a light heavyweight. I don't know if are they meeting a light heavyweight? Let me see here.
That should be a light heavyweight.
Oh, super middleweight. Yeah, same thing.
Oh wait, Morrell and Benavidez competed at 68.
I see super middleweight. I may be wrong.
Wow,
it's a super middleweight bout, but he's the Imam guy is serious, and he beat one of our guys in the Olympics. Guess who he beat?
Who he beat?
He beat the surgeon, Ben Whitaker. The semifinals back in 2020. So he's an Olympian, dangerous.
Interesting.
That part dude has had. I mean, he has an extensive amateur career. Like most, he's like them Europeans over there from Russia and back Uzbekistan and Dagestan. These guys' amateur career, Ukraine. Hey, like you talk about my man who just retired, Lomachenko, like 400, 500 amateur fights. This guy has an extensive amateur career. In the pros, it's going to be his 10th fight, but very dangerous. In the 10 fights, he has 9 knockouts. And 1 unanimous victory. It was his last fight back March 22nd. And that was to Palacios, Dravo Palacios. So this is he's a bit of an unknown, that Imam guy. Of course, we know who David Morrell is. We know what he's good at.
Cannot overlook those guys.
Them guys, that's a tough opponent. I believe in David Morrell because I like everything about his fighting. I like how he moves. I like how he's very athletic. He's strong too. I mean, he's not a knockout guy like that, but he won me as a fan when he fought David Benavidez.
Now there's a knockdown from that fight. Was I refresh my memory from the Benavidez Morrell fight? Was that a real knockdown, or was that like a?
I don't. When he got knocked down by Benavidez, or
no, Morrell. There's a knockdown.
I don't think it was a knockdown. I think he must have tripped. I don't think he knocked down.
But yeah, they ruled it an official knockdown. I was trying to remember if I.
Yeah, I remember. It was a unanimous. Remember we talked about it was a unanimous victory for David Benavidez, but we thought it was not a unanimous. We thought Benavidez definitely won, but we thought Morrell definitely
made it close.
Yeah, and we didn't know. Like we talked about, we didn't know how tall this Morrell guy was because we thought Benavidez was also a weight bully because they list him at like 6'1". But really, Benavidez, Morrell is 6'1", but he looked like almost the same height as Benavidez, who's like 4 or some weird, height.
Physically a great matchup.
Yeah, they look like they were going at it, and it was a great dancing partner for Benavidez. Took him all 12 and had great moments in the fight. But sometimes these unknown guys like Imam can come out of nowhere, and then that's a problem for Benavidez in the future. He's a light heavy, fighting for I don't know what they're fighting. Are they fighting super middle? But I know he's a light heavyweight. That's why they have him on his box reg.
Right.
Moving on, I don't think I have any other fighters there.
No, not for that card. We just got a big weekend. Big weekend.
Yeah, a big weekend. Let's see here. UFC. Yes, we do have UFC fight night. This is going to be in Nashville. And we'll talk about maybe just a few of the marquee people. We won't go through the whole lineup. This is the return of Derek Williams. Wait. My phone just. Derek Williams versus Glover Teixeira. Derek Williams, Houston's very own. The guy with the most knockouts in the heavyweight division in the UFC history. He's back again. He's been around for a long time. And he's fighting a young Glover Teixeira. This is going to be a knockout fest. So somebody's going to get their head knocked off their head. Their head knocked off their shoulders. So definitely I'll be looking forward to seeing that in between what's happening over there in the Ring 3. Also, with that being said, we also have the return of the Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson. He'll be fighting Gabriel Bonfim for the welterweight. It's a welterweight bout, no belt involved in this one. And then we have Calvin Kata versus Steven Garcia for the featherweight. I won't go deep into the other cards, just to my UFC people out there. I'm there with you. I'll be watching in between these fights. It's very hard to coordinate all that. It's a lot of multitasking, but we'll get it done. All right, let's run through some comments here. What do we have?
Oh man, we just vibing. We just vibing right now.
Respect, Miss Ish. We can't really say your name, but respect to you.
I think that's hilarious. But, hey.
Okay, big announcements happen. Big announcement happened with of course, Karki Al-Hashik. Isn't he the only guy just kind of holding boxing to like everything is?
He's the czar. He's the czar of boxing right now, man.
The economy in boxing just booming.
But how can you be mad about making stuff happen? Like he's making it happen. Like it's wow. Like I'm very grateful he's been able to bring some fights that would have been stalled out for years and years. So just very unlikely sources of the people driving the pushing the envelope, and then you got MVP Promotions doing the same with women's boxing. So
nice.
Come on, man.
Well, we needed that, definitely.
We needed it. This card is crazy.
So it's been announced, ladies and gentlemen. It has been announced. We've not yet had the ring 3. We have not yet had the ring 3.
The Ring 4 is
But
announced.
the ring 4 has been announced for November 22nd. And you can see some of the names on the ring 4. It's going to be 5-year works. I'm surprised it's not July 4th. We have the boogeyman himself, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard. LT called this fight a long time ago. We were talking about what's next for Anthony Yard.
LT be knowing he need that pension. What do he say? He need that pension.
He has that magic. Like, he knows he has some 8-ball type of thing that just kind of giving him the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Assassin versus the Assassin Jr. or the Assassin 2 versus Devin Haney. David Haney is going to be fighting Brian Norman Jr. November 22nd. Then we have Abdullah Mason versus who? Let me see here. I'm trying to see here. Sam Noakes.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to read these names here. Give me a second. Yes. And then we have Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. What do you think about this card?
Man, for one, I was surprised.
That's the marquee. We're not even seeing the full card. That's just the marquee. That's 1, 2, 3. Those are 4.
Yeah, so you probably have a couple more cards on there. This is wait, where is our location for this fight?
The location. I'm by the way, I'm reading the Ring magazine right now. So
oh man,
this is gonna be at the Red Rock, Times Square, New York.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Was surprised to see Bam Rodriguez. He's putting his belt on the line July 19th here in Dallas here in a couple weeks. So surprised to see his name on there. The David Benavidez Anthony Yard is a compelling matchup. David Benavidez needs an opponent, somebody willing to go in there and get punched in the face by this monster.
More context to this, Kam Gee.
What's up?
Keyshawn was stripped of his WBO belt, so now Noax and Mason will be fighting for it.
Oh yeah,
that brings a whole different element to this. So,
hey, Mason look like he looking really focused, right? And I didn't even get to him yet. I was gonna hit on the Devin Haney, Brian Norman. That there's a family beef going on there, right? The Bill Haney was going at Brian Norman, the assassin, and that got pretty heated on a podcast. So want to see if Devin Haney puts out a better performance than he did in that last fight, where he basically chose to not engage, and Brian Norman coming off of a knockout where he made a guy forget the last 6 weeks of his life. So that's something. And then Abdullah Mason getting the opportunity to win a belt. He looks like one of those guys that's poised to make a long run. He's going to make it very, very difficult to relinquish any of those belts. So, I mean, this is big time.
Yeah. So, like, another person, like, like if you're in good grace with promoters, like, I can see Abdullah Mason's growth from, wasn't he fighting with Top Rank or like fighting on the Top Rank events? That's where we discovered him, right? Like, if I remember.
Yes.
Last year, and we're like, who's this 19? How old is he? 19? Now he's 20. I can't remember.
21, I believe now. So right now he is currently 21. Yes.
21. We were like, who's this kid? Like him and Martin, Kamel Martin. Those are the two that we were looking at. And then one had that issue with the weight, and then kind of his promo train kind of dipped. Wow, Mason is picking up, level after level after level. Now look, the WBO on a platter for him and what's his opponent's name? Sam Noakes
to take.
So
17-0, 15 knockouts. So no slouch coming in here.
So yeah, like that's a very interesting rise to the title within a year. I don't know if it's a full year that we've been covering this guy. We started doing this in September, and look how far this guy's come from having his fight not even televised because it was too early.
Yep.
Back in the day,
he's fighting. As of what was it? This year, he had fought an 8-rounder back in February.
Right, and back in September, our young guy was Keyshawn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, man, shout out to him, man. This will be his 4th fight this year.
Yeah.
Once it gets to November. So, young fighter, hungry, staying busy. And I could just fighting 8-round fights early this year.
Right. I think the last fight that he was fighting was not promoted by Ring. The one that was in Noseville. Who promoted that? Was that
the last fight?
Yeah. Which was in Northville, Virginia. Who was the promoter?
1 second, because I already got it pulled up. You got
Samson.
It was a Bob Arum, so it was a top rank.
But yeah, he's been fighting on the top rank, so now he's being pulled over to this other side. So he must be like a free contractor, just trying to figure it out. So
yeah, you have a huge delegation of promoters. You got Bob Arum, Devin Haney. You got Samson Boxing, you got Warriors Boxing, you got Queensberry. So
yeah, there's a lot. That's what I was saying. The last fight I was seeing Queensberry. I was like, all these guys, because Queensberry is that Warren guy, right? Guy in the UK.
Frank Warren, one you don't mess with. You don't talk bad about him.
All them guys, Bob Arum, all them guys you can't mess with, man.
They will sue you, man.
I don't want to say the gangster word, but yeah, them guys
winning. They winning these court cases. Hey,
them guys are scary. Respect.
Got it, bro.
Respect. But yeah, I'm really, really interested in seeing. I'm invested in this Abdullah Mason's career, how he's getting it, and how far he has gone from seeing that fighter that we even never saw on the main cards, and we caught his highlights on Twitter where he was knocking people out without being on the main stage. So now that he's having a chance to fight for the vacant WBO belt, and whatever that will mean, it will mean a lot. It just brings a whole new dynamic to his weight division, where a young Abdullah Mason has that opportunity. There's so much in there. Like, there is Lomachenko. I think he's going to leave. He left. So the IBF is going to open. The only person, there are 2 people. There's Shakur Stevenson and there's Tank. So if he fights any of those 2 fighters, his name is going to project so high, and that will be the craziest rise to stardom you'll ever see within a period of like 3 years. If that happens, if he gets that WBO belt that Keyshawn had, because Keyshawn was knocking on Tank Davis's door. Tank, come out and play. What? Because he wanted to do that. Now you don't have Lomachenko in the mix with the IBF. I don't know what they're going to do there. But whoever picks that up, I don't know what Tank will look like after his Roach fight. But man, I'm seeing a play for Abdullah Mason here if he takes care of his business.
Right.
On November 22nd. So I was just thinking about how that guy has risen from nowhere to where he is right now. It's kind of like, bro, we are seeing it. We started this show talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
And look at where he is, and where his peers are who started with him. But anyways, moving on from that, this one here. So we started a segment here. We did the announcement of the week. We did the topic of the week, which was the shrinking ring. Now we're gonna talk about what the helly of the week. What the hell of the week? What's happening? Am I in a What's happening? Ricky Hurton is coming out of the retirement. He's been retired like 13 years.
No.
What is happening? People need to pay taxes. What's happening?
Hey, payday. Canelo said it best. Hey, you looking for that payday? So, look, man, Godspeed. Make sure hope that this man can get in and out this ring in one piece because the tail end of his career took some beatings.
He took beatings. Like I was happy he retired because 13 years ago because he had been into some wars. You know,
Absolutely.
After that Manny Pacquiao, I thought Pacquiao killed him. Remember that knockout?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro.
Took done. Some beatings, man.
And he's back. And his opponent is also interesting because I don't know who this guy is. Al-Da. I think he's Arabic. Al-Da. A-L space D-A-H. I want to see what his first name is.
13 years. Not seeing the fight on BoxRec. Yeah, that's the.
I mean, I'm already kind of cringing when I see Pacquiao wanting to fight. Who's in shape? Who never got really hurt too bad?
I mean, we've seen Ricky Hatton at some of the fights, and yeah,
bad fights, man. Right? Like when he got beat, really. Like what I was worried about, dude. He gained weight after that. He went through that depression and like.
Man, well, where are you seeing this at? Ricky Hatton.
I'm on Ring Magazine reading. I'll put.
Okay.
I'll put it in the private chat so you can see it. But he's fighting a 47-year-old guy. They call him his nickname is the Arabian warrior. His name is Isa Al-Da, and he's 46, 47. I think this is gonna be on. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be in Dubai. So I don't know if it's Taki Al Hashik or some other person over there that has money. But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm like, the only person that I can welcome out of retirement, to be honest, actually 3 people. I'm okay with Anthony. I'm okay with of course Tyson Fury. I'm okay with Andre Ward, just because I know his style could work. Okay. Even Floyd, I'm like, nah. You almost 50. We saw what happened to the executioner. Like sometimes, man, like when it's father time calling you, like you gotta chill.
Just time, man. I seen Ricky Hatton. Seeing Ricky Hatton at some of these fights and seeing his body composition, there's no interest at all. Like, please.
I feel bad watching it. Like, I feel like, bro, nah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I probably won't watch 2 47-year-old men hit each other in the face. Probably won't be in on that.
Yeah, but besides that, if they fight, I hope everyone completes that bout healthy. Everyone to have sound faculties and everything, because it's not no joke. And with that being said, we've hit almost our hour 30 mark of the show. We held it down. We tried our best. We kept it rolling. We still missed a very important piece in LT, but we kept it rolling. And man, Kam Gee, man, how could I do it without you, man?
Hey, we held it down, man. We held it down. Hey, next man up.
We'll run through some predictions and then we'll call it a show. And I'll start with LT's predictions here. And he predicted both. And then we'll go to you, Kam Gee, as you know how this goes. We're gonna do a prediction between the MVP promotion event, and we're also gonna do the ring. So this is LT and the rationale about his choice. So Balenga versus Shiraz, he picked Balenga KO. He just said opponent has hand speed, but Balenga displays great defense abilities versus Canelo. Hits with a shot that he does not. Yeah, he's gonna hit him with a shot that he didn't see coming. So that's he's saying that Shiraz is a good fighter, but he's not dealt with somebody with that type of power. So he's going by Balenga KO. Shakur versus Zepeda. He's like, it's gonna be a unanimous decision in the favor of Shakur. and he's saying it's going to be a clinical work or surgical work on the side of Shakur. So Shakur is going to show us something that is great. I'm assuming that's what I'm reading in between the lines is what he meant. He said surgical UD. So I'm assuming he thinks that Shakur is going to put in work and
shut him out
with a unanimous decision. He also chose, just like you called it on live air. He chose Puello to win by split decision. He said it's not going to be an easy win, but he's going to win. He's going to be fighting the Matias fellow. So Puello versus Matias. He chose Puello by SD. And then this one is what confused me because I don't think he saw the Russians' pedigree, but he chose David Morale KO over Imam. Should I go with your side or should I completely?
Well, okay. I didn't know which ones we were dropping a prediction for. So
we're doing the ring 3. Okay. And we're gonna do a little bit of the names that we know in the women's card, which is Netflix thing. So I could bring up those names here. So
yeah, I got Albert. So I got if you want to do Morel,
okay.
I think Morel will have a late round stoppage. We call it round 9.
Okay, round 9. Wow. Let me write this down. Let me write this down. I know it's weird. We're recording this, and I'm still gonna write down. I could go back on the recording. You know what? I'll go back.
It's good to have on those though. It's all right.
All right. You said Morel is gonna win by a late stoppage in the 9th round.
Round 9.
Okay.
Now we got you said Puello versus Matias. I got a UD for Puello.
Okay.
All right. I've got Berlanga, Shiraz. I'll also have that going the unanimous decision route for Berlanga.
Oh wow.
And
then Zapata and Shakur.
Shakur and Zapata. Unanimous decision for a Mr. Well, actually, no. I want to change that. I have a split decision victory for Shakur because I know that Zapata is going to give us some close rounds. I'm thinking, kind of like a Maidana versus Mayweather, where he's applying so much pressure that he's going to steal some rounds in there and make that a close fight in appearance.
So
I didn't see. Go ahead.
So you've given your everyone that we've covered from the side of LT. So you have all your predictions have been all 12 rounds. Besides one, all yours are 12 rounders besides one, and that's David Morale, which is a 9th round ending. You have a UD on the side of Berlanga. You have a split decision on the side of a Shakur and Puello.
We didn't give any of the women's side though. We staying away from that one.
No, we're gonna do that too because I'll give you LTs. He gave me quite a bit here because he gave me reasons to why he chose that. So he gave me Serrano's gonna win by unanimous decision. She's gonna make adjustments to avoid taking too much damage. Baumgartner is gonna win by unanimous decision. She has Green creating an upset KO victory over Savannah Marshall.
Okay.
With counter punching, and then she has Metcalf TKOing Johnson.
Okay.
What do you have?
So I've got Serrano defeating Katie Taylor unanimous decision.
Okay.
I've got a Baumgartner stopping mid round 7, stopping Miranda. Savannah Marshall. I've got her stopping Shadeja Green.
So you have. I'm writing this down. You have a UD for Serrano.
Correct.
You have a stoppage for Baumgartner.
Stoppage.
Which round again?
7.
7. Then you have Savannah Marshall and Green. Who do you have there?
I got a Savannah Marshall by stoppage.
Stoppage. Do you have a round or you?
We go round 9. We go late in that fight.
And yeah. All right. Did I go with mine?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna write mine here. I have Edgar Berlanga winning by KO in the 5th round.
Okay.
I have Shakur stopping Zepeda
Okay.
in the 9th. A late stoppage. I have Puello going the full 12 with Matthias Sabro.
Okay.
And it will be a unanimous decision.
Gotcha.
Ooh. I have a UD for Morale. David Morale is going to win by unanimous decision on my end.
Okay.
And then now let's go to the women. This is where it's going to get tricky. I have a TKO decision here.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be stopped by the corner. And Katie Taylor is going to beat Amanda Serrano. I won't say the round. I'll just say TKO. Let me add.
Yeah, so you're seeing that lopsided encounter happening in the third time.
Something happening where someone does not believe it's happening, and the other side is going to save the person. And the only person I can see it happening is on the side of. I can see Serrano's side worrying because she's been in too many battles and she's older. She's very older. Again, I don't know women and men how if the damage is the same. Maybe women don't get as much damage. I don't know.
You've seen a lot of the champions in the women's division are in their mid to late 30s.
Yeah, because Amanda is older.
Yeah, Gabriela Fondora is one of the younger ones, and Baumgartner is the younger one at that too. So,
Alicia Baumgartner, I'll give her the UD. I want to give her the KO, but man, I've not seen her fight in a while. Just like you, I see a late KO by Savannah Marshall. I can't see that going the distance. Just like you, I have it on the 9th round. So. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
So those people that are stuck with us and seen our predictions in the comments, put your predictions. You could join us, and we'll be revealing the table next time we meet to see where we stand. Last time, everybody received points from their predictions besides me. I was off on all my callings for the fight. I'm excited about this week because now we have a lot more fights. So I guess my probability of being right is a little higher, and the possibility of somebody getting knocked out is a lot higher. So I'm doing statistics here. People, probability. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode 62 of Who's Fighting. Kam Gee, LT in spirit. Everybody who is fighting. And we out.
Peace.